Igbo mụrụ nze m ọzọ, anyị ekene unu ọzọ n'ụbọchị uhuruchi tata. Anyị sị unu ụtụtụ ọma, efifie ọma, mgbede ọma, site na ngara ebe isi wee na-esoyere anyị n'elu akwụkwọ n'ụbọchị nke taa na Igbo midia, bụ ebe anyị si wee na-ewetara unu ya bụ ife gbara ọkpụrụkpụ na-eme na ana Igbo dị iche iche, obodo dị iche iche na ana Igbo na obodo nke anyị nọ n'ime ya. Dịka o si dị, ọbụna nke a bụ mgbọsị izizi gị ị na-esonyere anyị n'elu akwụkwọ na Igbo midia, ekabalụ ka imetụ aka n'ebe a na-acha red and subscribe ọ, share ekwe ya, gbakwa ụmụnne anyị ndị ọzọ ka fa sonye na-esonyekwara anyị n'ihe anyị na-eme.
Was killed by Nigeria because of the interest of other Nigerians. He was killed. Today, he is in the history. This idiot from Yoruba land, under Yoruba, who called himself the son of Fela, his father was killed. Today, he is part of the history of Nigeria. His grandmother was killed. They are now part of the history of Nigeria. The worst is that the prominent men in Yoruba land many of them have been murdered by Nigeria state. But whenever they have one small opportunity, they forget them. Even to the point that a son of a victim, the guy who's supposed to be the most angered person in Nigeria today, whose father was murdered by injection, is now calling those fighting what his father did cowards. I want people to understand that Nigeria have seen, in fact, they have not seen what is coming. God will use me to end Nigeria. Mark my word. God will use me to end Nigeria.
Yes, sir.
For the interest of millions of people. The atrocity of Nigeria, the prayers of many people and those that were killed by hunger, those children, their cry, God to God. And God used many years to mold this time on EKPA. I told them from the beginning, you see, I have come to end the journey of this Biafra struggle. This year, after Biafra declaration on the 2nd of December, we will know who is going to run away from the south, south, and southeast. I have no other update to give you, but I have come to assure those criminals and terrorists in Nigeria state that God will use me to end Nigeria. And the end of Nigeria have begun. When Mazen Nnamdi Kanu was preaching, he said Somali will be better than Nigeria. Are you not seeing it? The good news is that at the end, freedom will come. And the West continue to make mistake of allowing us in Africa to carry gun before they listen to us. The mistake were done in Sudan, in Ethiopia, in Eritrea, in many places. Something that we can resolve amicably. Ordinary asking for freedom is a problem. The people will kill you for asking for your freedom. And if you don't defend yourself, your history will be gone. Will be wiped away from the surface of the earth. Mm-hmm. And today, we will not be wiped away by Nigeria. Because we have come to end it. Our forefathers paid the heaviest price of being in Nigeria, and we are not going to leave that particular price for our children unborn to pay. We will end it in this generation. So from the 2nd of December, the music will change. Nigeria don't know what is coming. We will show them that the people you killed in the 60s, we have never forgotten them. The scars is very fresh. The humiliation on our children, they were dying, and they saw all those stomach being swelled up, and they were dying in thousands on daily basis, up to 3 million. Nigeria is evil. and must end. The only way to end it is when they come with AK-47, you bring your own AK-47. When they come with bomb, you bring your own bomb. It is fire for fire, gun for gun, until the world will listen to us. And that listening to us, they have ignored us for many years. This year will be the day, the year that the Biafra and our own cry will ring a bell to the highest level. Thank you, Biafrans in UK.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, my lord. Ndewo.
Let me promise one thing. You know, any place I go, I always promise. And I want to fulfill that promise whenever. So the promise I'm making to the United Kingdom today, Biafrans in the United Kingdom, is that when I was in the US a few weeks ago, last week, I promised them that the satellite radio and all that will be, and the TV will be on air. And today we have the satellite TV, we have the satellite radio, and what I promise and what I'm still promising here is that we will start. Now we have tested the radio and it is working in Ebonyi State. We are going to start from the coastal Biafra to the hinterland. We already have some transmitters in the hinterland. So Akwa Ibom State, the former Akwa Ibom State, in the next 2 weeks, will have Voice of Biafra satellite radio all over Akwa Ibom. That's my promise. In the next 2 weeks, we are going to have them in Akwa Ibom, and from there, spread to Iguacha, spread to Bayelsa, spread to all the coastal delta before we come to the hinterland. That is the promise I'm making to you. But it starts in the next 2 weeks from today. Thank you.
There we go. Thank you, sir.
Master Boniface, please, Ben Chuk's hand has been up for a long time. Do attend to him, please.
Yeah, we have, there is time for donations, but we are following the program. Mazi Benchus, don't worry, you will usher your own submission. But we have a presentation. Okay, we have a presentation we want to present. Yeah. Please, after the presentation, you can go ahead. Please, sir. There we go. My wonderful family, UK family, I recognize everybody here. Those in the cabinet, PM's cabinet, we recognize all of you. You are all supportive in UK. Everything that will make UK to be moving forward, you are always gather around to see that it is being done and on time. I recognize all of you present here. So please, I may not go one by one to recognize all of you, but I recognize your presence in this meeting. When the time comes, we shall be unmuted for you to take your own submission. But we have a presentation now. We are following our program. We have a presentation we want to present. We have a teenager here in UK, very intelligent. The other day, he made a presentation in one of the Igbo unions. So we said no. He must come here and do this presentation, another presentation concerning the Biafran War and its importance today. I'm calling on Ben Obodefuna. Ben, if you are here, you can raise your hand. A very brilliant. He's a very Bitcoin in Guru. Is very good in a guru in Bitcoin. Even in this our USDT, he is very good. He teaches people around him how to transact, how to trade with the USDT. So he's a very good guy and a teenager, very brilliant. Yeah, from mother. So Ben, my minister, you can see Ben so that he can be
on your camera and unmute yourself.
Hello. Greetings, Prime Minister, and greetings, fellow Biafran.
Ben, can you on your camera, please?
Since I'm under 18, I prefer to keep my camera off for privacy reasons, if that's okay.
Okay.
So yeah, Afambo Nze Chinedu over there for now. And today I'll be presenting 5 interesting facts about the Biafran War. So I'd like to share my screen, so if somebody could give me host permission, so I could.
Okay.
Give him a co-host, please.
COS, please grant him co-host. COS, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. What's his name,
All right.
please?
Ben's iPad. Ben's iPad.
Okay. Thanks. Okay, great. All right, done.
Ben, you can go ahead.
Okay. So see my screen?
Ben, before you continue, please, I hope none of your content has any gory images, right?
Yeah, there's no gory images.
All right, right on.
All right. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Very well. Very well.
Okay. So the Biafran War. Quick overview. The Biafran War, also known as the Nigerian Civil War, took place between 1967 and 1970 due to ethnic and political divisions between Nigeria's Igbo-dominated southeast and the Hausa Fulani-led north. Colonel Odemegwu Ojukwu led Biafra to declare independence in 1967, which led to a military intervention by the Nigerian government, headed by General Yakubu Gowon. The conflict included intense battles, human rights violations, and a severe humanitarian crisis, with an estimated 1 to 3 million deaths from famine and disease. Despite initial successes by Biafra, the Nigerian military, backed by international support from countries like Britain and the Soviet Union, eventually were victorious. The war concluded in 1970 with Biafra's capitulation and its reintegration into Nigeria, significantly shaping the nation's political and ethnic dynamics of today. So, an introduction. One of the unique things about Biafra in the history of warfare is that not only was Biafra fighting a war, but simultaneously, Biafra was also building a nation state, which includes fully functioning institutions such as the Central Bank of Biafra, University of Biafra, ministries, and law courts. For example, people were still going to court for petty cases and receiving punishments, or getting married in a church as a normal society would whilst fighting the war. This is what makes Biafra unique, and things like this are what should be celebrated in history. So, number 1, the post-war £20 policy. So, at the end of the war, a Nigerian panel concluded that every Igbo person who had an account in any Nigerian bank before the Civil War was to receive £20. At the beginning of the Civil War, Igbo people took their money out of Nigerian banks and changed it to the Biafran currency. After the war, the Nigerian government took control of bank accounts belonging to Biafrans. A Nigerian committee decided to give each Igbo person a new bank account with just £20 in it. This meant that there were multi-millionaires who were stripped of all their money and forced to rebuild off of a mere £20. Despite this, though, the eastern region still grew to become bigger than most of the other regions in Nigeria today, despite the harsh conditions they were forced to build their economy back up from. But what many people don't know is what happened to the money that was stripped from the Biafrans. In 1972, 2 years after the war concluded, the Nigerian government released the indigenization decree, which mandated all foreign, especially British companies, to be either fully or partly owned by Nigerians. A decree that the Igbos did not benefit from, and it's believed that the money used to finance the purchase of these private interests was on the other side of that £20. Number 2, Biafra's crude oil refineries. During the Biafran War, faced with an economic blockade limiting the access to petroleum products, the Biafrans ingeniously established makeshift crude oil refineries. Leveraging local expertise and traditional refining methods for palm oil, they improvised equipment using available materials like old barrel and pipes. This community-driven effort, coupled with training initiatives, enabled them to produce sufficient refined petroleum products to sustain their economy and military operations throughout the conflict. This technology the Biafrans created is still being used by the likes of the Russians today. Number 3, the hijacking of planes. During the Biafran War, Biafran militants hijacked 4 planes, including 2 Nigerian Airways planes and 2 BOAC, which is the British Overseas Airways Corporation planes, on July 10th, 1968, diverting them to the Ulai airstrip in Biafra. This dramatic act was an attempt to draw international attention to the plight of the Biafran people and the humanitarian crisis caused by the Nigerian government's blockade and military offense. While the passengers and the crew were released unharmed, the hijacking was widely condemned by the international community, including the Nigerian and British governments, as an act of terrorism and a violation of international law. Despite the international attention generated, the hijacking did not significantly alter the course of the Biafran War or lead to a resolution of the conflict. Now, number 4, the minting of the Biafran currency. During the Nigerian Civil War, Biafra declared independence and issued its own currency, the Biafran pound. On the 29th of January 1968, Biafra began minting its own £1 and £5 shilling notes in Portugal. These notes were made from paper and not too durable. Then, in February 1968, a second revolution of these minted notes were made in Switzerland, including a £5 shillings note, a £10 shillings note, a £1 note, a £5 note, and a £10 note. These notes were polymer made and more durable than the initial paper notes the Biafrans had made in 1968. Once the war concluded in 1970, however, these notes were discontinued. Number 5, Omar Bongo Ondimba. Omar Bongo Ondimba was the president of Gabon from 1967 until his death in 2009, making him one of the longest serving leaders in the world. During the Biafran War, Omar Bongo played a significant humanitarian role by allowing the adoption of Biafran children who were flown to Gabon by foreign mercenary pilots from France and Netherlands in order to escape the conflict and its devastating effects. My grandmother, who's actually in this Zoom meeting, was one of the 7 girls, which comprised from 2 nurses and 5 Red Cross girls that had taken the children to Gabon via the planes. She recalls the Nigerian Air Force's attempts to shoot down the planes as threatening for all parties on the aircraft. Luckily, however, the Nigerian Air Forces seemed to miss the planes. So, under Omar Bongo's leadership, Gabon provided a safe haven for these orphaned and displaced children from Biafra. Many of these children had lost their families and were in desperate need of care and support. Omar Bongo facilitated the adoption process and ensured that these children received proper care, education, and a chance for a better future in Gabon. Subsequently, one of the children Omar had adopted, named Ali Bongo Ondimba, went on to become the next president of Gabon. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you. Thank you, Ben. Ben, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I even within short notice, you were able to do something. Thank you, Ben. Ndewo.
Hello.
Her grandmother is part of us. She's part of UK liaison cabinet. Ezinne Ngozi Obudefuna. That's her grandmother that she was talking about during the Nigerian war. Her grandmother was instrumental in giving medication and assistance to people. So there are those who are born for this liberation. Her grandmother is one of them. Ndewo. Thank you very much. Yeah, on this note, my lord, PM, please, any further exposition?
Well, just to inform our people that the voting is very, very important. Voting is very, very important. The self-referendum voting. Those of you in the United Kingdom, you have a duty to make sure that your people back home participate in the voting. And so you can also help in sponsoring the officials, electoral officials that are, going from places to, do the voting exercise is very, very important. We need as many votes as possible. At least we need to capture those, the number or half of those who voted during the general election. That's our target. And it's just about 4 million people that voted in the entire Biafra land. So we are targeting some reasonable number of voters from that 4 million. And we understand that because this voting is being done in an electronic manner, so our people are not very conversant with this, but we have to do it because that is the option that is available for us. And that as part, the Finland Convention, the Declaration of the Restoration of Independence of Biafra Convention in Finland is very, very important as well. The slot is very limited. So if you have not registered for the event, I would urge that whoever that is watching, either from the United Kingdom or anywhere in the world, you have to register so that you will not be disappointed when you register and will return your money back, because the place may not take you because of the limited number. So the earlier, the better for those who wish to come to Finland. And remember that it is still far. December is far. November is far, but it is not that far. So it will be good for those who wish to be in Finland to, start the process of registration, very early. And then, of course, we lost somebody in the United Kingdom. Many of you know, Victor. Victor lived in the United Kingdom. He was a very big supporter of this government, and we lost him. And so the funeral, the government is going to participate, and we are planning with the family. So those of you in the United Kingdom, some people have volunteered to be part of it. So we will need more people as well. And then when we're going to have a meeting about this, please, we would like the United Kingdom to also be part of the meeting where we're going to have it. So we'll communicate you through the European rep about the preparation that will be made. So it's very important. We want to be our own and be part of us. Very good, both financially and otherwise. So, and then, of course, our defense is very, very important. The United Kingdom has always supported the government very well, and so continue like that. Encouraging all of you. You have done very well in the UK, and we need as many people as possible. Our defense is very, very important. That the resources is needed, finance is needed, just like every other nation that are fighting and trying to protect and defend their land. They will always be going from one place to another to source the fund until the war is won. They have defended their land. Things happening, the same thing is happening in Ukraine today. So our defense is very important. Nigeria will never see our back until the declaration and defense and recognition of Biafra. No matter how long it's going to take, we are ready for this. So the United Kingdom, there is no other news I am bringing. Of course, another thing is the launching of the Biafra shop. Those of you in the United Kingdom, you know that the launching of Biafra shop is happening. COS, which day even? Sorry?
It's coming Thursday.
All right. So coming Thursday will be the launching of the Biafra shop. So we expect at least reasonable number of people from UK and all over the world to be part of it. At least while we are launching it, you'll be able to order one or two things to test whether the shop is working or not. So you'll be able to buy live purchase as we are launching the Biafra shop. Maybe you buy some kind of t-shirt or cup or something with Biafra design and the signal in it to test the shop. And as you are buying, you are also supporting the government and the Biafra defense. Very, very important. Everything goes to Biafra defense, and of course, with other lobbyists and all that we have, and then of course the issue of radio transmitters is very, very important that we cover this as soon as possible, because now we need the information disseminating system to cover the entire 40 states. And now that we are on free-to-air satellite, it is very, very important that as the voting is going on and as we prepare for the liberation and for the declaration, our people back home will be carried along, especially those rural areas that don't have access to smartphones or access to the internet. They will have access to radio to listen to radio. The radio is working 24 hours. The same thing to the Voice of Biafra satellite TV, 24 hours. As I'm speaking, it is working, it is live. So these are the updates. And of course, everybody knows what is happening now. They have moved the headquarters of the Navy from Lagos to River State, the Biafra land in water, for the very first time after 100 years. What am I going to say? So it is only now they know that River State is good to have headquarters of the Nigerian Navy. And I told them that we welcome them with our arms. So come closer to us so that we don't have to send a special squad to Lagos to engage them. Let them come closer to us for easy access to their facilities. The time will come. So we want them to bring DNA, NDA, or whatever they call them, to any place as well, so it will be more closer. And their Air Force also, so that they don't have to fly far before they come to bomb our place. They have to be very, very close. So this is all happening, is a sign that we have defeated Nigeria. And all of you know the propaganda they are doing now, sharing flyers.
And by Dalo Lineno, only if Konisi, when it's Solani and many Robo Pasinketa, as a Kupasinketa Malo Numa, I think which by zero, and the Cosidi, and the Kindle, if I be a Prime Minister Kuni Robo, Zoduki Biabo, Iabo, Ibo Media, Kaisiko when you tell Nukozia do Kemba, Geniki when you Kubasta Makaya Bifa. Kabaroke drop for your comment, your own suggestion. Ni endani the Biafran Prime Minister Kuni Robo. Thank you so much and stay tuned at Ibo Media. Daron